Well, hi there. It wasn't planned that it would be over a year until I did another one of these. It just kinda happened that way. So, if you were waiting for the thrilling conclusion of Felix the Cat, I'm very sorry it took this long. But hopefully you'll enjoy it now. But yeah, the way I wanted to do these channel updates is I would do a couple playthroughs, and then do one of these during a break before I started my next playthrough, so I could talk about what I've done and what I'm going to do. And things just didn't line up for that until recently. Last time I did a channel update, I was about to start In Cold Blood, fun little stealth action-adventure game by the people who made the Broken Sword games. I never had any personal experience with those games before this, but I knew the name and knew they were well regarded, so In Cold Blood caught my eye, and I decided to see if I would like it. And I did. And while doing that playthrough, I also played the first two Broken Sword games on my own time, and I had a lot of fun with those too. I could also see a lot of similarities in style and presentation to In Cold Blood, even though they're different types of games. But I could tell that they were made by the same company and the same people, so if you like one, you'll probably like the other. You'll get a recommendation from me. So, anyway, October was coming around while I was doing that, and I wanted to do a playthrough in the spirit of the season like I did last year with Ghostmaster. But since I was already in the middle of a playthrough, I was looking for something short and simple to do as like a little detour while I kept on with In Cold Blood. And I settled on Until Dawn. And I just finished that last month. So much for short and simple, right? Part of the reason it took that long was I did have a couple of breaks during the playthrough because I wasn't able to record and put videos out as often as I was hoping. But a bigger reason that it took so long was I vastly underestimated how invested I would get into that game. Like, I fell in love with it. So, what was originally gonna be a straightforward playthrough that would maybe last a couple of months just ended up becoming way more involved because I wanted to show more off of the game and just do more with the playthrough. You know, in those introductory videos that I do, I try to lay out what the plan is gonna be for that playthrough, and for Until Dawn, my goal was just to beat it. Go from beginning to end, no frills. But what it ended up being was, you know, I wanted to get all of the collectibles, I wanted to show some things that I missed, offer some story speculation, and even show off some different paths by doing multiple runs of the game. So yeah, I just ended up not affording myself a break to do a channel update until now. But hopefully it won't be another year before the next one. Anyway, aside from those playthroughs, I also started putting some attention into streaming on Twitch. Made affiliate, by the way, so thank you very much for that. Around the same time I started In Cold Blood, I started a long-term effort into streaming Dark Souls 2 on Twitch once a week. I just like the idea of doing something a little more laid back and casual with a playthrough, and being able just to kind of hang out and talk to people while I did it. You know, just something that I wouldn't have to worry too much about, like with editing for YouTube and things like that. And Dark Souls 2, I think it gets kind of a bad rap, and I felt that myself at the start of the game. Like, I just kind of had a little bit of a rough start with it, but I ended up having a lot of fun with it by the end. And more importantly, I had a lot of fun just being able to stream and hang out with people as they watched me roll my way to victory. But that ended up taking a long time to finish. Like, you would have thought I was playing Until Dawn again. That's how long it was. And that was because I was doing it roughly once a week. So after that, I decided to try streaming twice a week when I started Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight, also a very good game, by the way. Also a very hard game, by the way. But still good. Twice a week worked out a lot better. Things moved more swiftly without eating too much into my time for doing other things, like sleeping and crying myself to sleep. So that's where I'm at right now with a streaming schedule. Just doing it twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come hang out. As I did say, I made it to affiliate, so again, thank you for that. And to celebrate that, I did a stream every night for a week with a bunch of different games. And I think people enjoyed that variety, so I'm trying to incorporate that more into my streams moving forward. Not just exclusively streaming one game for a long time, but taking little breaks here and there to do something different, something smaller, just a little bit more variety. Like right now, I just started Dark Souls 3 on stream, but I'm planning to take some breaks here and there. Also related to streaming, I've been posting some of those streams on YouTube as well, mainly the streams for those long-term games like Dark Souls 2 and Hollow Knight. Initially, I was breaking the stream up into smaller parts, so you wouldn't have like a 2-hour long video in your feed there, but I kind of reconsidered on that. The way I'm thinking of it is just people that are interested in watching those replays are probably the same people who would be fine with it being one long video instead of 3 or 4 smaller videos. And that way I'm not flooding everybody's sub boxes with, like a bunch of videos in a day. But I would love to hear some feedback on this. If you like the idea of me reposting some of my streams like that, how you like them being reposted, either in smaller chunks or just one big video, just let me know. I would love to get some more feedback on that. Let's see what else. A little while back, somebody was kind enough to give me a small donation, which I very much appreciate. Thank you. Hopefully you know who you are. And I took that donation and I turned around and used it to place a banner ad on the Something Awful forums. I just wanted to do that as an experiment, see what kind of attention that would get. It was just wanted to see. And it actually ended up being good. I don't really know how else to say it. It was good. I got a nice little boost in traffic. I got a handful of new subscribers. I think it was worth doing it. But I think it was only worth doing it once. I don't see myself doing that again anytime soon. I just kind of figure that I'm not going to reach anybody else new by putting another ad up on those forums. Like anybody who would have had an interest in checking out my channel did check out my channel. Maybe something like that in the future, though. Maybe somewhere else if I can figure out somewhere to try to promote myself in a similar fashion. We'll have to see. Since we're talking about, growing my audience and promoting and just trying to build things up, I want to talk about BOO, You may know who that is, you may not. He is a YouTuber. He does gaming videos on his channel. He's mostly known for Minecraft videos, but he does other things as well. And I like the guy. I'm a fan. But, you know, he took a hiatus and recently came back, and he was doing this thing where he wanted to help out smaller channels. Wanted to kind of give advice to people, promote them, do a little coaching, a little collaboration, things like that. So he asked people to message him with links to their stuff. And I figured, you know, might as well. And I dropped him a message, and to my surprise, he actually messaged me back. And he said that he was very impressed with what I've done so far, and that he would very much like to work with me and thought we could do some big things together. So that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, the free coaching slots that he was offering were already given away. But I could still work with him by signing up for his introductory deal of $475 per monthly coaching session, or $950 for 2 meetings a month. So, not as cool there. I'm not trying to give him any shit. Okay, this is not me like calling him out or speaking negatively about him. You know, man's got to eat. He's got a wife. He's got 2 kids. You know, and this is what he values his time and his skills at. He's totally entitled to do that. So, not speaking ill about him. Not going to fault him for wanting to get paid. But reading those messages, I certainly went through a few different emotions. I ended up turning him down because it's literally more money than I can afford, but I still think it would be neat to work with him someday. Maybe that will happen. But, you know, I never really heard much about the coaching stuff after that. Like, I didn't ever really see him talking much about it. I don't know of anyone that he's ended up working with in that fashion. If you know anything about this, if you know anybody who did end up working with him, I'd love to hear, you know, how that turned out for them. You know, I'd love to hear that some folks were able to get that and that it paid off, that they were able to find success thanks to his help. So, go ahead and let me know if you know of anything about that, any kind of follow-up. What else? It's been just shy of 2 years, me being on YouTube. Maybe like a week and a half to go before it's been 2 years since I posted my first video on YouTube. And I'm just shy of 200 subscribers, like maybe a dozen to go. It was kind of my goal to get to 200 subscribers before 2 years, so that way it could be like 100 subscribers per year. You know, like that, just that kind of mentality of, all right, I did this much in 1 year, I'd like to double that in 2 years. You know, I'm a little bit behind on that goal, but only just a little bit, so I feel good. I don't feel too bad about where I am. So, thank you for being one of my subscribers, for being one of the viewers, you know, checking me out and enjoying what I do and wanting to see more of it. Hopefully I can keep pushing even harder moving forward, and maybe this time next year I'll have reached even larger goals. You know, set my sights a little further and get there. So yeah, been trying to stream more, been trying to keep making videos. With the breaks, the little hiatuses that kept coming up the past couple playthroughs, though, I want to try to do a little more preparation before I start up my next playthrough. So hopefully I'll be able to get videos out more consistently by doing that preparation. You know, just sometimes that whole life thing gets in the way, you know? Alongside that, I've been trying to make some other little changes and do some other things to just general improvements, or hopefully improvements. Now, one of the things is the thumbnails. Maybe you've noticed that I've been trying to do those a little bit differently than when I first started out. Trying to make them a little more interesting and distinct while also maintaining them providing that information to you of what the video is going to be. I'd love to hear some opinions about that, what you think of those changes, if you think I should be doing something differently. Just feedback's important. Also, very, very slowly working on a new project. I started working on it earlier this year, and I was hoping to have something to show for it by now, but balancing all these things going on in my life and things I'm trying to do with the channel and streaming and all that, it's just something I'm still getting a feel for. So it's taken a little bit longer than I was initially expecting it to, but hopefully I'll have all that coming together sooner rather than later, and once it does come together, that will hopefully get the ball rolling on making it easier to do more of that as well. It's gaming related, but it's not game playthroughs. I don't want to say too much, just because I don't like to commit too much to things that I haven't been able to pull the trigger on. I don't want to hype it up too much. And, speaking of not wanting to commit, not wanting to hype things up too much, talking about what I'm planning for the future besides that project, I will say that I have been practicing Tony Hawk's Underground 2. I've been talking to a friend about possibly doing something co-op related, and of course Halloween is creeping back up, so we'll see what happens and when it happens. But, in the meantime, I can't stress enough how much I love and appreciate you guys for sticking with me. You're here enjoying what I do. I've gotten the impression sometimes that some of you guys feel like you don't really do much. When I say, I appreciate you guys and, any kind of growth that there is in my channel, my audience, or just the quality of what I do. Whenever I try to extend that appreciation, some people just kind of say, I didn't really do anything. I'm just watching your stuff. But, I mean, you watching that, or, hanging out with me on Twitch, or leaving comments, liking videos, interacting with me on Twitter, recommending me to other people, all those things, they go a long, long way. And it makes me feel like I'm doing something that you guys enjoy. And it makes me want to keep doing that. You do a lot more than you give yourselves credit for in keeping me going, and most importantly, having fun with all of this. So I want to just make that clear, that you guys, I'm not just blowing smoke up your booty holes, unless you're into that sort of thing. But no, I genuinely mean it, and it makes me want to keep working hard on this stuff and getting better and providing things that you guys are going to enjoy. So I don't really know if there's anything else for me to say at the moment. I'm just gonna keep trying to grow and try new things and try my best, like always. I'd love to hear from you guys again about what you think about what I've done so far, what you think I could or should do for the future. It really does matter to me to get that feedback from you guys, to hear from you, so I'm not just like dumping my stuff into the void. You know, it helps to give me ideas. It helps me to think about what I want to do going forward. You know, so don't be shy. So, hope you enjoyed Felix the Cat there. Look at those lives. This is not what I would call a hard game. Anyway, I will see you all next time. Okay? Okay. Love ya. Mwah. Bye-bye.